Morning, everyone. In a few minutes, I'll sign Senate Bill 1, bipartisan legislation approving the Keystone XL pipeline. I want to thank all my colleagues for being here today, and I want to thank Sean McGarvey, President of North America's Building Trades Union, for being here as well. It's pretty simple. Keystone XL pipeline is a good idea for our economy, and it's a good idea for our country. Members of both parties know it. They've put politics aside and passed this very important bill. The President's own State Department says this project will create up to 42,000 direct jobs. Many labor unions know it. They say Keystone just isn't a pipeline, it's a lifeline for America's construction workers. And the overwhelming majority of the American people know it as well. So to the President, I would just say this: do the right thing. Sign this bill and help us create more jobs in America and create a healthier economy. And with that, let me turn it over to Sean McGarvey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Majority Leader. On behalf of the 3 million people that I represent in North America's building trades, we want to thank you for your tenacity and not giving up on this middle-class, jobs-producing, private sector-funded project. We're excited to be at this point. We're excited with this ceremony today, and we urge the President of the United States to put our men and women back to work across the length of this pipeline as soon as possible. We urge the President to sign the bill. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Senator Hoeven, for being the warrior on this. You know, I believe that America's national security and America's economic security are tied directly to America's energy security. And that's why it was easy for me to recommend to leadership that we simply accept the Senate amendments and Senate 1 rather than go to a conference committee. I think the amendments, while not universally loved, strengthen the bill, and it strengthens the bill's political palatability, which I think is an important point. For far too long, we've seen gridlock grab this town, and now we've demonstrated in this very first bill a functioning Congress. And the best of us is illustrated, I think, in this bill. And I think it would be a tragic shame if the President didn't stand with us as we're willing to stand with him, willing to help him do the thing that he could have done unilaterally with a stroke of his pen by signing the presidential permit. Sean, I'm especially pleased you're here. When I was on the Public Service Commission in North Dakota and we sited the first Keystone pipeline, 216 miles greenfield, 600 landowners' land, I saw every mile of the pipeline. I know it very well, those 216 miles in North Dakota. And I met the labor force on the site. These are real workers. These are real jobs. This lifts up middle-class America in a big way. But even more than the pipe fitters and the heavy machinery operators and the truck drivers, it was the local cafe, the hotels, the retailers, the hardware stores in little towns that, quite frankly, at that time, needed a shot in the arm. And your men and women that working on the site gave us that shot in the arm. So I understand that we all have political considerations and that the President does too. But today, those political considerations I think are diminished by the fact that the new political consideration is that the people's representatives, in perfect concert with the people that we do represent, are willing to stand with the President as he stands with them and hopefully signs this bill into law.
All right, time to sign the bill.
Speaking of signing the bill.